Well, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to Agent Wealth Success. And you know what we do here. We help real estate agents and brokers to increase not only their business, but also their wealth. And you also know that every week I have a very special guest in a very unique area. And this week is no exception. And in fact, you're going to love this because I'm going to be able to take your leads and you won't even have to work them, and we're going to hand them right back to you, and it'll all be done. And who we have is Daniel Bearden. And Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Hank. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, thank you. And Daniel's just amazing. He's been in the industry, real estate industry, for over 18 years that he's really focused on. He was even in the oil business, and he lives in Texas, but his services are available anywhere in the United States. And about 9 years ago, he realized that he really needed to boost real estate and the sales. He needed a call center. And that all of us have challenges with calling those leads. And, you know, they may be cold and we may have some resistance to that. They may be that, you know, we just don't want to keep on bugging them. We feel guilty, you know, we call them too many times. All that today, by the time we're done with that, all of that is going to go away. and it's actually, there's a way for you, it's not going to even cost you any money in order to do it as well. So, and then just to give a little proof in the pudding, if you will, Daniel, when you started 9 years ago, this call center, that you started with a broker of 22 agents. You now have with you, I think, about 164 agents. That, but can you share with us, first of all, the credibility on what happened with that first broker and what happened to their business using your call center?
Sure. So when I started, I actually back into all this. I was a real estate investor, flipping houses. And like what you see on HGTV, we were doing about 6 to 7 projects a month. And I partnered with that broker who had those 22 realtors initially with the idea that they would help me move my inventory so I could get to the next project. So realtors are very good at selling houses. And so that was my logical thought is, let me partner with this team. Within a couple of weeks of working with him, he was like, my God, man, you're really good at sales. He said, would you be willing to help my 22 realtors so that they'd be better at sales? And I said, so, well, I don't work for free, but let me just take a look at your team and get an idea of the good, bad, and ugly of it. And in that process, I realized that realtors have one of the hardest jobs ever because they literally have 5 full-time jobs in one. So they have to generate the leads, do all the sales calls and sales processes, et cetera, nurture, maintain the leads, and then they get to the realtor activities of showings and comps and inspections and, you know, everything else that follows with that. Right. So having read the book, The One Thing, where it basically says identify what your money-making activities are and everything else is a distraction or noise or needs to be delegated, I realized that the best gift I could give them was their time back, which would allow them to do more business. Wow. So I built my call center around that idea where if I hired hardcore sales guys and trained them, scripted them, and had them convert all the leads for the realtors, that the realtors then could use that time that they normally use for the sales calls, which, by the way, I think 100% of every realtor I talked to on that team and every realtor in the last 9 years that I've ever talked to said the sales calls and the cold calling and the idea of rejection on the other end of the line is the least favorite part of the realtor job. Yeah. Most realtors go, I just want to be a realtor. I absolutely hate that part. So knowing that, the idea was, and at that particular broker, it was a 70-30 split if you self-sourced your business. He bought all the leads and said, if you want me to feed you leads, it's 50-50 split. And then when I built the call center, I had no loan officer license at that time. And so I broke it up and I said, look, the only way this will work is if I take a point, you take a point, and the realtor takes a point. And so we built that model. We offered it to the realtors. Every single one of them said, so let me get this straight. The leads are going to come in. your sales team is going to call them, nurture them, maintain them, convert them. And also we brought in lenders, since I wasn't a lender, we brought in lenders in-house. And the idea was that they were going to get them pre-qualified financially and even set the expectation with the buyer so that they were going to sign the buyer's rep agreement when they met with the realtor in advance, right? And then my sales team would set the appointment with the realtor and the buyer. So we take a cold lead, turn it into a hot buyer that's qualified. So the buyer's been qualified, realtor's been edified, and now they're excited to go out and work with the realtor and do the fun stuff, which is go look at houses. And I always told my realtors, the only thing you have to do at this point is don't screw it up. Just be charming, know your market, unlock a door. Everything else is taken care of for you.
Yeah.
And so the realtors were like, if you're going to do all of that, it's worth it to pay 1% for that.
Sure.
So the success didn't happen overnight. I in 9 months of doing this, I quadrupled that broker's business. What's interesting is there were 22 realtors on his team. A majority of them were doing 6 to 10 deals a year. He had about 4 that were doing over 15 deals a year, and he had 2 or 3 that were doing over 30 deals a year. So they were pretty ballers in that regards. However, within less than a year, the slowpoke in that group was doing 5 deals a month. Wow. In fact, it was so good that I remember we were having to hire 1 to 2 new realtors every couple of weeks just to keep up with production. Because I had realtors that were saying, don't give me more business, I'm tapping out. And I was like, that's the wrong answer. You refer it out, you build a team, you scale, you don't say no. Because our sales team, I required all of my realtors, and I still do to this day. Mm-hmm. If we work together in this capacity, you have to keep your calendar current and available where we can see your calendar at all times. You don't have to put personal stuff in there, but you have to time block. Because my sales team is going to be calling your leads for you, and they don't need to call you and go, hey, you available to do a showing tomorrow at 2? They just need to look at your calendar, see white space, and book it. So once we got it going, after a couple of months, it took, for us to get their pipelines filled. The realtors got accustomed to waking up in the morning, looking at their calendar and going, okay, I've got a 10 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, a 2, just wow. And that was the key to the success. I had no idea it was going to be that good.
Wow.
And then in that journey, the lenders that we brought in-house saw what I did with the brokerage. It's like, my God, would you come do that for us? And so that led to me becoming a licensed loan officer. And then in that journey as well, I realized that I can now offer these services to realtors. And if we're partners, if we work together and I'm getting loans out of the deal and you're sending me your hot business, I can waive my 1% fee because it's multiple companies. So I have 5 companies. That's one of them and everything. So Daniel Bearden, the loan officer, is separate from Lone Star Realty Team and LLC.
Great. And again, guys, this is available everywhere. And so to just recap on what basically you're doing to make sure I got it straight, is that your call center basically. It's the agents. Let me back up one thing that we probably didn't talk about yet, that the leads come from the agent. Is that correct? That they
Correct.
Okay, so the leads would come, Mm-hmm.
The agent generates the leads.
Got it.
Now, I will say this. My wife, in 2014, I was buying a $4 million apartment complex, and I had this epiphany that if my wife would get her real estate license, I could save 3% on the transaction. So I went home and I was like, baby, guess what you're going to do today? No pressure, but I need you to go get your real estate license as quickly as possible. And she did. But so we now have a real estate team of about 164 realtors. So my wife does generate leads. That's the one thing she does. And then and also because we have 3 kids under the age of 5, she has never shown a house, listed a home, but she is very good at generating the business, typically between 2 and 4 when the kids nap.
Oh my God.
But so we do refer business out as well to realtors in the DFW area. But as a loan officer, I work all of Texas, and then we also work in many other states on the lending side as well. But yes, so realtors generate the leads. My call center and sales team converts and nurtures and maintains the leads. My mortgage company gets them financially qualified. And then once they're qualified, my sales team sets the appointment for the realtor. And again, the only thing they have to do is be charming, don't screw it up, unlock a door, know your market.
That's great. And then just to make sure that we're clear on price, that the agent gets to keep 100% of their commissions as long as, and not the 1 point or 33%, whatever, as long as that they're giving back to you business. Is that accurate?
Yes, if we are partners in this. So for example, I had some realtors say, you know what, I really love your sales services, but I also really love my lender. Is it possible to keep my lender? And I go, of course it is. I mean, you can still use my sales service if you absolutely just want to keep your lender. And they go, well, how much are your fees, by the way? And I go, 1% of your sales commission. They go, you know, I didn't even really like my lender. So, because if I help you do $30,000 in business, do you want to write me a $10,000 check or keep it?
Right, exactly.
You know, but I'm okay either way.
Yeah, that's great. So tell us about those leads. So let's say, so I'm an agent and I give you, I'm generating, so I have one lead system like KB Core that could generate, gosh, at least, you know, let's just pick a number of 20 leads a week. Out of those 20, what typically is your experience like, you know, how does that flow and how many end up closing, whatever?
Sure. I will tell you this, having been doing this for almost 10 years now, I've been a part of every lead gen company program you can imagine, from Realtor.com to Zillow to KV Core to Commissions Inc. and everything in between, Bold.
Wow.
And so I've seen, and each one does have its own conversion ratio, et cetera. And so the way it flows is leads are automatically exported into our call center. We don't take leads out of databases. It's copy paste, not cut paste, if that makes sense. And then what I think the difference maker isn't the lead source. I mean, that does play a part, but it's the sales training. And what I mean by that is, and I learned what my value was, and I learned how much better our sales team is than a regular ISA about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when I was offering my sales services to a mega producer who had 16 ISAs already in-house, and he had a just huge team. And he said, you know, I absolutely don't need any of your services because I've already got everything you have. I said, that's wonderful. It sounds like we should take the Pepsi challenge. And he said, what's the Pepsi challenge? I said, it's where you open up your CRM and all your sales database to us for 30 days. Your sales team has full rights to them. My sales team has full rights to them. I said, this will do a couple things for you. One, if you blow us out of the water, you've got a really great team. I said, and if it's a close race, you've got a really great team. I said, but if I beat you so bad that it looks like Usain Bolt versus a three-legged kid, I said, you know that you're now overpaying for your team. And because he paid them salary plus bonuses, and every time they close, they gave him some more money. Wow. So he accepted the challenge, and very confidently, but within 30 days, we converted 7 to his 1. Wow. Every day we converted 7 times more, and that was a very eye-opening experience for me because it'll let me really understand my true value. I knew that on the sales side, I was head and shoulders above most. But I didn't know it was that good. So that I was really appreciative of that experience to let me really know my value. And then I ended up earning his business. He said, so what am I supposed to do with all these agents? I said, or sales team? I said, you send them over to me. If they've got what it takes, I'll keep them. If not, they should do something else.
Right.
But it also eliminated his overhead.
Right, exactly. You know, and tremendous. And that is, you know, we've talked before on the show on how you have to leverage yourself, and like I as a inside sales agents, you know, that are there, and we have people doing that. But like you say, this, you know, it's even better. So if I give you, again, back to this 20 deals, typically what do we see close? Because it's not a big deal to me, because all I would do is just get more deals, however many I have, because you're going to be doing all the work, you know, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, so what do I get out of 20? Do I get a closing out of 20 or?
what I've noticed is this: there's typically a safe range of 3% to 7% conversion ratio. Facebook leads are going to have typically a 3 to 9 month nurture ratio, where because they're not as action oriented in my experience. Google ad leads, Make It Rain leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, those are action oriented. So right off the bat, you should get 1 or 2 deals out of those that'll close right away, and then you should have a following of maybe 1 to 3 deals in the next 60, 90 days that'll also close. So to give you an idea, I had a realtor get her license because she saw our lifestyle and wanted to have the lifestyle that we have. Yeah. And in fact, about 5 friends of ours, couples, called me and said, you know what, we all make money, we all do well, but none of us have your lifestyle of time and money. What do we need? And can we get together for dinner? So I invited them all over to my house. And they said, now, how do we get your lifestyle? And I said, and I shared with them about a little bit about the realtor lifestyle that we have and how it's opened up a lot of blessings and opportunities for us. And one of the husbands looked at his wife and said the same thing. He goes, baby, you need to go get your license. She did. She joined our team. She did exactly what I told her to do. She's been a realtor now for 4 months. Yeah. And she's closing on $2.5 million. So she's already closed almost $2 million, and she's got another couple deals in the pipeline. So it'll be $2.5 million in 4 months. Wow. And everything. She invested in Make It Rain. I told her to invest $500 a month into Make It Rain, which is a great lead gen program. And then again, once the Make It Rain leads started pouring in, my call center got to work. We converted business for her. She even got a few 2-for-1s out of it, where we'd call someone and they go, I need to sell first before buy. And she got some 2-for-1s out of the deal. Yeah. And it all compounded. And now, and I would say in the first month, I think we pulled maybe 2 deals out right away for her. But of course, they still needed to get qualified and go show and this. So probably in month 2 is when they closed. And then month 2 and 3. And like I say, what you do today typically shows up in your bank account 90 days from, today. Right. In our industry, right? Yeah, right. 60 to 90 days, because unless they go out the first day, buy or make an offer and accepted an offer and this, but how often does that happen?
90-day window for sure. I want to talk about those lead programs. This is fascinating on, like you said, Facebook really aren't all that good per se, that 3 to 9 months typically it takes to nurture those.
What you're trading with Facebook leads is money. They're the cheapest. So you can get a Facebook lead, and if you really hone in your skills and you know how to generate them yourself, you're paying about $2 to $5 a lead. Right. Whereas the Google ad leads and some of the other leads, so the Google ad leads or the Make It Rain leads are going to be about $10 to $15 per lead. Okay. So you pay a little more, but it's actually comes out to be a lot less when you look at the fact that you're converting more and they're more action oriented now versus 3, 6, 9 months later. Zillow and Realtor.com leads are going to be $40 or more a lead, but they're also their sales pitch is we've already vetted them, filtered them, qualified them, so they should be more oriented for now type stuff. So it's a small investment. Yeah. But go ahead. I didn't mean to take a side.
Yeah, no, it's great information because I don't think everybody, and you have such a wide breadth of understanding on the different lead programs, which I really didn't even know we were going to get into, which is just great. And so you had mentioned when you were saying Google ad too, you had mentioned this Make It Rain program, and I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the other ones you brought up, Zillow and Realtor.com, Google ads, Facebook, pretty easy. But can you tell me a little about Make It Rain? And you said you invest $500 per month, and basically what kind of results, what do you have to do? You have to learn. Is there a lot of training behind that? Can you help us?
Yeah, no real training. So there's really 2 ways to generate, or I'd say 3 ways to generate leads, right? You can go out into the world and do open houses and network and get word of mouth referrals after building up those relationships. You can learn how to, if you're very tech savvy, which I am not, you can learn how to generate leads on your own and build squeeze pages and all kinds of stuff. And I can throw out a few more tech phrases that I wouldn't even know what I'm saying. But when you generate your own leads for free like that, you're trading time for lead. Or you can pay and the leads will just flow in. So there's no training to write a check. You just you swipe credit card and literally leads just start coming into you. Typically within a week or less, you'll start getting 2 to 3 leads a day at the $500 level. And again, from there, and Make It Rain, sometimes you get the no numbers, but they really try to do a good job of making sure you're getting quality contact info. And then again, I have another team, brother sister team that is doing the $500 a month program like I recommended. And his first month, he got a deal where they were buying a house in San Antonio, so he referred it out and picked up $2,000 on the referral fees. And I think that closed for him his second month. So after $1,000 investment, he already picked up $2,000 in return. And now he told me he's got 4 deals that he's now he's got 4 buyers now out of that are qualified. They've already gotten financially qualified with us, and he's showing them houses. So he's already filled his pipeline up, and he's now into month 3 of these showings, and then hopefully those will turn into business for him by month 4.
That's fantastic. So it's, again, Make It Rain, and you can contact Daniel for the information or me. Daniel, how would we contact you? Because, really your greatest service is that besides all this knowledge you have on different lead programs and everything, you can help counsel agents on which ones would be, best for them. And for your, but I think, it's your call center that really is, just such a value once we have the leads. And those are really the only 2 things we need is the agent, us, we need to give you leads. You'll do all the work. And then we just need to go do what really we're paid to do. And that is to show them the house or list the house, whatever it be. And so how can they get a hold of you?
Phone number is best. Shoot me. Like, if you ever call me and you get my voicemail, it's best just to hang up and text me. I think we're in that era, so I can give you my phone number now if you like.
Sure. That would be great.
Good. And then I'll also text it to you. And if you want to share that where people can see it and write it down as well. But it's 214 783 8404.
Okay, great. So again, that's Daniel Bearden at 214-783-8404. And he can help you with this amazing call center that he can also help you in identifying as far as what lead programs you would have. And he knows a lot about those lead programs on how to do it. And then is there anything else that before we wrap it up here, is there anything else that you think would be helpful for us to know, or any words of wisdom you want to leave with us, Daniel?
Like what? No, I mean, if we're talking about realtors who are already out there hustling, and, I made a pretty bold statement earlier, which most people are going to want to see me back up, which is within 9 months, I took average realtors who were doing 6 to 10 deals a year. 6 deals a year is 1 every 2 months. I don't even know how people can live off of that unless they have a significant other or something.
Right.
And so most people are like, the fact that I, within 9 months, got that person to doing 5 deals a month. I mean, that is effectively taking people from Honda income to Mercedes income quickly. If average sales commission is 6 to 10 grand a commission, right? Yep. And it really wasn't rocket science or hard to believe when you step back and look at the fact that if someone needs to make 150 to 300 calls a day, what I noticed with realtors is that when they do everything themselves, they were doing all the sales calls, miserable while doing it. And most of them even told me, like, I have realtors who have 2,500 leads in their database. And I'm going, are you calling those leads yourself? They go, no. I go, why do you keep buying them? And they said, because I have intentions to, and I know I should, but I hate it so much that any little distraction takes me off the phone. And so what I noticed is that if you have no buyers to work with, yeah, you can take the time and call 150, 200 calls a day. But the minute you get a handful of buyers that want to work with you, all those calls and sales calls fall through the cracks, because if you're showing houses, how are you going to take the time to do this while you got a buyer with you, right? And so all their money and all the leads that they bought would fall through the cracks, because people at this day and age go to 10 different websites. They're not going to wait around for you to come back to them, right? They're already going to go work with another realtor, et cetera. So the sales cycle was very up and hard down, up and hard down. It wasn't flowing upwards like this. So when I took all of that off their plate, and the only thing they had to do was show, list, you know, et cetera. And my sales team just book appointment. And if they close a deal, or if someone fell through because of whatever, my sales team would see that gap and then fill it again so that they was already booked. And that's how we kept, and I told them, I said, listen, you're going to have to tell me when you want to eat, when you want to spend time with me, when you want a vacation, when you have other deals and business to do.
Sure.
Because again, I will book you up so much that you will either tap out or you will have to build and scale your business. It will get to the point where it's too much for you.
That's awesome. Well, there you go, folks. That Daniel Bearden, that he can fill up your plate with all the money, abundance, closings that you want. And he's got the call center to do it, and we'll take that off of your plate, give you more time and more money. So, Daniel, I thank you so much for being on the show today. That it's great information. And again, reach out to Daniel or me, and we can tell you more about how you can become your greatest possibility. And as a real estate and agent, broker, that to increase both your business and your wealth with Agent Wealth Success. To all of you, all the best. Have a great week.
Thank you, Dr. Hank.
Dr. Hank. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you, man. Bye-bye.